Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good evening, good evening, good evening, or good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Whatever time you're watching this, hello, and welcome to my fourth podcast. And yes, I'm doing it. I am getting there. I am making sure I find time on my Friday to do these podcasts. I've got the doors open. It's quite hot in the cabin today, and I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible, as simple as possible, just because hang on, I'm just going to move something. Just because I don't want podcasting to be a chore. I want it to be something that enables me to keep you up to date, to keep me accountable, which is the reason I did it in the first place, and to just, keep everything on track. I apologize, you can see the clothes on the line, but this is keeping it real. And the dogs are in and out, so that's why and I'm not going to shut the door because it's too hot in the cabin. And it's not even summer, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. What have I been up to? Wow. In the few weeks since I podcasted, I've had a number of things arrive in the post for Legacy Recrafted, which I'll get to in a moment. I've been to Wellington. I've been to Auckland. I've been to Auckland, I've been to Wellington, and then I've been back to Auckland. So it's been pretty hectic. And when you only have Friday, Saturday and Sunday to do your sewing, it doesn't leave much time. So in all that time that I've been traveling, I've actually got some knitting done. Oh, shock horror. However, it wasn't finishing the shirt that the ranunculus that I showed you last time, and that's because it's really, really close to being finished, and it was just too big to take away. So it was socks, and more socks. So I'll show you the socks. I got these underway while we were traveling to Wellington. We stopped in at the Little Fox Cottage in Levin, I think it's just out of Wellington, and I've bought off them quite a bit, and I'll link them down in the notes below. So most of my Tula Pink I have pre-ordered from there, so it was really cool to go into their shop and actually get a look at the fabric and touch everything and see things. When you buy online, it's often sometimes really hard to go, have I got it right? Have I got it right? Have I got the right colors? But this was really cool. So this is Tootsie, and it is a all-purpose 4-ply fine merino sock yarn, which is quite lovely. I don't think there's any nylon in this. No, and it's by Countrywide Yarns, which is in Orotea, in Auckland there. So really, really lovely, and it's knitting up so cool. You're getting these really cool little bands and then some big patches of mild color and stuff like that. So they're really cool, and the first sock I've already turned the heel and we're on our way back up again. So when I've got my finished work Monday through to Thursday, and I'm just needing to wind down from my paid job, the socks come out. What else did we do? Oh, so you may have seen on my Instagram, and this set of socks is in my Labyrinth bag. How cool is that Labyrinth bag? That's one of my ones. This sock yarn here is my own hand dye. So I helped a lady last year learn how to dye yarn. She came over to our house and we did a yarn dyeing session, and I dyed up some 2 skeins of sock yarn, and so I'm now knitting this up. This is actually knitting up really beautifully, and again, just put it on for some socks because it's quick, easy knitting. I can take it with me when I've been driving in the car. If I'm the passenger, I get to knit with it. And again, this is knitting up just beautifully. And the other thing I started to finish while I was away, but I didn't really do very well with it, is my brioche cowl. Look at how cool that is. I love it. And that it's got lovely cool grey on the inside. And these ones are, these are my own. So this is when I was Little Red Webs and I was dyeing yarn as Little Red Webs. So this is 100 grams of superwash fingering sock yarn, which I'm knitting in the brioche alongside of the same base in this cool grey. And these were two that I dyed up, as I said, when I was still Little Red Webs and dyeing yarn. So I got them out and got into brioche, which is really, really cool. The problem is I'm right at the split. So this cowl sits like this, and then it splits into more of a bandana. And I cannot get my head around the splitting with the rights and left when you're doing brioche, because you're knitting with two separate pieces of yarn. So that one might have to go back into the naughty pile and wait until I'm ready to do that. Cool. That's the knitting. That's the knitting. Yeah. Still trying to find time to get that ranunculus finished, and I really need to just have a good couple of hours to sit down and finish it, but I don't tend to really have 2 hours in a go where I get to sit and finish, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to manage that, but we will work it out. Sewing. First of all, if you're following Instagram, you would have seen my cute little bottle bag for a kid. When Mum and I were, I went to Wellington with my mum. So when Mum and I were in Wellington, on our way back up to Auckland, we stopped in at Spotlight, and I found this cool Squishmallows fabric, which is just adorable. And I thought, I wonder if I can take the Hydro bottle bag pattern that I have, which is one of Jill Benson's from Kite Co Creates, her patterns. I wonder if I could take that and just make it at 80% and see if it fits a small bottle for a kid to do. And it does. It fits perfectly. So when you do it at 100%, it fits one of these bottles. And I don't have any at 100% left at the moment because they're all at shops or something. So not that much smaller, but you know, still fits these bottles in it, but I would never use it that way. So that was a bit of a just play. I wanted to play with the Squishmallows and see if I could come up with something that was more kid orientated, and a water bottle, because I've been asked to do some more kid-friendly stuff, and I thought I'd give it a go. What else has been going on? I'm going to move back and let you see some teddies. I have had a number of these Huggable Memory teddies. I think I've done 7, 8, 9, 10 in the last couple of weeks, and they take a huge amount of time to do these, especially when you're dealing with this. This was a merino jumper, and with the merino jumpers, and because it's knit fabric, you've got to reinforce everything first before you sew it up or cut it out of a teddy into a teddy. So these ones are already, there's 10 of them that I now need to hand sew, and so that's some nighttime sewing, although some of them are black, and black thread and black fabric and nighttime and me don't really mix, so we don't have that much fun together. What else? What else? Oh, I have to show you this, because this is so cool. My new hands crafted webbing. I don't know if you can see it. It says hands crafted. It's very cool. So that's arrived. So I've got a whole bunch of bags on the go, and let me just start showing you those. Righty ho, we've got 3 of these warrior backpacks that I'm putting together, and so had to do quite a bit of fluffing around, because this is actually the collar of the shirt, but I needed to fit all the good bits in it, so we've done a little bit of surgery and fixed that collar piece. And so there's 3 of these backpacks underway, and they will hopefully be finished by the end of this weekend. We have another sling bag, warrior's sling bag, under the way, and that's the front and back. These are all stabilized and fused with a fleece interfacing, and then this one here is pretty cool as well. Let me just find it. It's still having just been fused. So this one here is another one, and then on the front of this we're going to have the Warriors at the top and the Australian Rugby League at the bottom. Excuse me. So that one's, they're all lined with fleece and ready to go. I have a test bag that's been completed, so I can't show you that, and I do have the second one of that cut out, but I just don't think I'm going to get the time to get that sewn by the end of the test time frame. However, I have done the one already, and I've completed that, and I've fed back to the designer. It's a really cool bag, and so I'm really looking forward to that bag being released and you guys getting to be able to see that, because that's really cool. What else have we done? I've done quite a few blocks of the month. So I participated this year in a block of the month, and with Kiwi Quilters, and how you work that is that there's a group of 12 of you, and at the beginning of each month one person sets the block of the month for the month. You make that block and send it to them, and then they get 12 blocks, and they can make a lap quilt or add it to a bigger quilt, and you get to learn a little bit more quilting and gain some quilting skills. It's an intermediate class, and I had got myself really stressed out in trying to do everything that I've been doing since the 1st of July, work and get those blocks done. So I had a few blocks that I was behind in, and so they have all been caught up and sent, and November is my month, and my first block has arrived. So this is the block that I chose for this month, which is scrappy stained glass. And so that's the one that was done by one of the ladies in my block of the month group, and these were the ones that I did when I was testing the pattern. So there's that one and that one. So I think these are going to make a really cool scrappy lap quilt, and it'll be the second quilt I finished if I actually do end up quilting it, so we will wait and see. Yeah, so I think that is me up to date. That's a really quick podcast. Wonder if I can do it as a short. What's coming? Crikey, we're heading into Christmas and I have got only a few spaces left for custom orders. So if you're someone that's watching and you want to order a custom bag from me, you need to get in quick before Christmas, because I'm really running out of time slots to be able to make that bag for you and get it sent back to you before Christmas time. I've got 2 knitting bags to be done, a Betty Boop one, which I'm actually quite excited, and I'm going to record that I might just do like a short, like a fast motion one of that, because I'm going to embroider Betty Boop on it to start with, and see how that comes out. That'll be cool. I've got big plans over the Christmas holidays. My son is coming down, and my son is helping me with the design of the Lynn collection. He has worked at David Jones for a number of years now, and on and off while he was at university studying marketing, and there's just some amazing bags that end up at David Jones to be for sale. And he keeps saying to me, Mum, your bags are this quality. You need to really focus on Lynn, which is my designer collection. And so he's coming down. Him and his girlfriend Maddie are moving here at the end of November, and they're going to be staying with us between semesters, their Christmas semester, and we're going to get focused on getting some of those designer bags up, and getting some advertising in for that. So that's a little bit exciting. I don't know if there's anything else. It's been a bit of a whirlwind this last couple of weeks, but I managed a podcast, so I'm quite excited about that. On the personal front, you might have seen on Facebook or Insta that I did an appreciation post for my husband. Those that know or have watched my podcast before know that I suffer from complex PTSD, and while complex PTSD is related to childhood traumas, I didn't realize that I had complex PTSD until I had a massive breakdown in 2019, Mother's Day 2019. And I met my husband in between COVID lockdowns. And he is just the most beautiful man ever, and he is everything I could have ever hoped for. He's patient, he's funny, he's kind, and he really allows me to be the weird little neurodiverse person that I am. And he supports it 100%. And when I'm in the cabin, I get coffees brought to me, which is just amazing. And I don't have to worry about that. But today is our wedding anniversary. And 3 years ago today, we crossed the Waikato border, all legally, of course, and went to work. And on our way home from work, we called into our pastor, Trinity and her husband's house, and we got married in their backyard. And it was something special. It was really upsetting that we had to cancel our wedding because of COVID. We had all these beautiful plans, and our families were going to meet for the first time, and it was going to be something really, really special. And 2 days, so on the Tuesday before our wedding, we went into lockdown. So obviously that was all completely cancelled, and we were in lockdown for so long, and we were on the Waikato border, and all of our family, friends, the venue, everything was on the Auckland side of the border. And then we got a phone call from Trinity to say that we our marriage license was going to expire, and having got a refund on everything but the marriage license, we decided that on the way home from work we would get married. And there was 5 of us there, all standing at 2-meter lengths, and yeah, we had this beautiful day, and they had done a red carpet, and they had an arch, they had a little bit of champagne or wine, I can't quite remember, I don't drink, so I'm not quite sure, and a cake, and it was just really, really special. And we were always going to do the wedding over once COVID lifted, but actually we decided not to in the end. We were really happy with what we had, and although it only had one of my husband's daughters there and my son there, it was still a very special day, and we were very, very grateful for the love and care that we were given and shown on that day, and made special, because we thought we were just going to go sign some papers and say some words and do everything officially and then have the wedding later. But we ended up with a wedding which was truly beautiful. So that was 3 years ago today. Man, the world has changed, and we have moved in those 3 years. We've bought a house in those 3 years, and we've established Uniquely Handscrafted in those 3 years, moving from Little Red Web. So it's all been quite whirlwind actually when I think about it, but I'm very, very grateful for everything. And so today was just a lovely, blessed day. We went out for lunch, and yeah, just took a moment to remind ourselves of that. Normally every year we rewatch Game of Thrones, because that's how we got to know each other, watching Game of Thrones together. But yeah, I've got too much going on, so there'll be no Game of Thrones reruns this year. But yeah, all really, really good. Okay, well, I think that's enough rambling on. Another nice little short podcast. If I can keep them short and keep them as real as possible, then that's the cool thing. You've caught up on the knitting, you've caught up on the sewing, and you've caught up on the personal stuff. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, and you guys have a wonderful weekend coming, and I will do my best to see you in 2 weeks' time. See ya.